For 340 years, the wreck of HMS Gloucester, an elite royal warship armed with 60 guns and entrusted with England's future king, vanished without a trace beneath the North Sea. Launched in 1654 as the pride of the Royal Navy, the Gloucester's catastrophic loss in May 1682 triggered political scandal and buried secrets that shook the monarchy. Her sudden disappearance condemned more than 130 souls and unleashed a storm of blame no court could quiet. Now, with the ship's astonishing rediscovery, one question echoes louder than ever. What really doomed Gloucester on her final voyage, and why did it take centuries for the truth to surface? Limehouse, 1654. The Thames churned with the noise of hammers and saws as shipwright Matthew Graves oversaw the birth of a new kind of warship. HMS Gloucester stretched more than 100 feet from stem to stern, her hull broad and deep, built to carry the weight of 50, sometimes 60, iron guns. Graves and his men shaped oak and elm into ribs and decks, carving scrollwork and gilded crests that would gleam in the spray. Her timbers were thick, her lines sharp, designed for speed and punishment in equal measure. In the age of sail, power meant presence. Gloucester was more than a ship, she was a statement. Commissioned in the wake of Cromwell's naval reforms, she joined the swelling English fleet as a third-rate frigate, ready for the line of battle. Her first year saw action against Spanish galleons and Dutch men of war. At Lowestoft, at Solebay, at Texel, Gloucester's broadside thundered in the smoke and confusion. Each campaign left scars on her planking, but also a growing reputation. Reliable, formidable, respected by friend and foe. Beneath decks, the gun crews drilled in the cramped heat, sweating over 12-pounders and waiting for the order to fire. Above, officers paced the quarterdeck, reading the wind, plotting the next maneuver. Every inch of her, from the carved figurehead to the towering masts, spoke of ambition and national pride. By the late 1670s, after years of hard service, Gloucester was summoned back for a major refit. New guns, fresh rigging, and ornate woodwork restored her to glory, ready for whatever the crown would demand next. May 4th, 1682. Gloucester rode at anchor off Margate Roads, her decks crowded not just with sailors, but with the weight of royal expectation. Sir John Barry, her captain, paced the quarterdeck, eyeing the sky for signs of weather. Below, the Duke of York, heir to the throne, future James II, prepared for a journey north that would decide more than a family reunion. Every move was watched, every word weighed. In his company, Samuel Pepys recorded the day's events, while the young John Churchill, not yet the Duke of Marlborough, kept his own counsel. The mission was delicate. James's Catholic faith, long a source of suspicion, shadowed every decision. The ship carried not only nobles and courtiers, but the hopes and fears of a divided kingdom. The route north past the shifting banks of Norfolk became a point of bitter debate. James Ayres, the seasoned pilot, pressed for the safer inshore passage. Benjamin Holmes, Gloucester's master, argued for the deeper water to the east. The Duke, drawing on his own years at the Admiralty, insisted on a compromise, a middle course, neither close nor far, a decision born of authority rather than consensus. Night fell with the fleet making 6 knots, wind from the east, the sea restless under a moonless sky. Orders stood: hold course, trust the sandglass, pray the charts were true. In Barry's log, the tension is clear. The pilot's warnings went unheeded, the hierarchy unbroken. Royal command overrode experience, and Gloucester pressed on. Her fate sealed not by storm or enemy, but by the choices of men who believed themselves above the ordinary risks of the sea. May 6, 1682. Dawn broke cold and gray, the wind still biting from the east. At 5:30 in the morning, Gloucester struck hard, a sudden grinding shudder as her keel tore into the Lehman and Ower sandbanks. The blow killed the man at the helm. The rudder snapped clean away. Water flooded in through the shattered hull, and within moments, the lower decks were awash. Gun crews scrambled for the ladders. Passengers, nobles, sailors, servants, crowded the companionways, trapped by the strict order that no one could leave before the Duke of York. Every minute counted. Some leapt for the boats, others clung to floating wreckage. The warning gun fired, but the confusion drowned out command. In less than an hour, Gloucester slipped beneath the waves. Out of roughly 330 souls, only a handful made it to safety. Between 130 and 250 lives vanished in the surf. Men and women pulled under by the weight of protocol and indecision. The North Sea closed over the wreck, leaving only silence and the debris of ambition scattered across the sand. The news swept through London before the survivors even reached shore. Pamphlets spilled from the presses, each one sharper than the last. Names were named. The Duke of York, spared by fortune and rank, found himself on trial in the court of public opinion. His insistence on protocol, his delay in abandoning ship, and the narrow escape of his favorites, these details fueled a wave of outrage. Coffeehouses buzzed with accusation. Some claimed the Duke had rescued his dogs and priests, while others drowned. The city's pamphleteers, emboldened by the exclusion crisis, called it a royal scandal. Questions multiplied. Why had the pilot's warnings been ignored? Why had so many been left behind? James Ayres, the pilot, was seized and thrown before a court-martial. The verdict was swift: imprisonment, then disgrace. Official records painted him as the architect of disaster, but whispers in the streets said otherwise. Even Samuel Pepys, the king's own secretary, noted the contradictions in testimony. The truth twisted with every retelling. Ayres' sentence was quietly commuted, yet his reputation never recovered. The Duke, meanwhile, weathered the storm, shielded by power but shadowed by suspicion. As the months passed, the wreck faded from the headlines, but the questions lingered, unanswered, unresolved, waiting beneath the waves. In the summer of 2007, the North Sea rolled gray and cold as Julian and Lincoln Barnwell scanned the horizon from the deck of their survey boat. 4 years into their search, nearly 5,000 nautical miles covered, hope flickered with every new dive. Most days ended with nothing but sand and silence. Then, 28 miles offshore, the echo of a cannon on the seabed broke the pattern. Lincoln, wearing his brother's wetsuit, dropped into clear water and found himself staring at cast iron, evidence of a warship lost to time. He surfaced, breathless, clutching a brick from the wreck. Julian, waiting above, doubted at first, but the next haul brought up more. Fragments, artifacts, the unmistakable shape of naval ordnance. The realization hit: the centuries-old mystery had a location at last. Their father was there to share the moment, the culmination of years spent chasing a legend. They kept the secret between themselves and a trusted circle, knowing the site's vulnerability. The silence would stretch for more than a decade, but the thrill of discovery, the awe of touching history, belonged to them alone in that first instant. Confirmation of the wreck's identity rested on a single, silent witness. In 2012, divers brought up the ship's bell, engraved with the year 1681. That bell, heavy with salt and time, left no doubt: the Gloucester had been found. From that moment, the site became a laboratory for maritime science. Conservation teams cataloged artifacts, wine bottles sealed since the restoration, pewter plates, navigational dividers, a pair of spectacles still folded in their case. Each object spoke of daily life and sudden loss, preserved in the silt. Professor Claire Jowett, leading the academic team, called the find Norfolk's Mary Rose. She argued that the Gloucester story stretches beyond royal misfortune, offering a rare look at class, faith, and politics in a changing nation. In 2018, thousands of underwater photographs were stitched together through photogrammetry, creating a digital model of the wreck. A Leverhulme Trust grant in 2021 fueled new research, linking scholars, conservators, and local museums. By 2022, the discovery was public. In 2023, Norwich Castle Museum opened its doors to the first major exhibition, artifacts arranged not as relics, but as voices from a vanished world, inviting new questions with every glance. In 1682, HMS Gloucester sank off the Norfolk coast within an hour. taking as many as 250 lives and sparking questions that endured for centuries. Official records confirm the ship's dimensions, armament, and its royal mission, while contemporary pamphlets and court-martial documents reveal the depth of public anger and the swift imprisonment of pilot James Ayres. Yet the precise moments leading to the grounding and the full list of those lost remain unclear. Many records were never made or have not survived. The 2007 discovery by the Barnwell brothers, confirmed by the recovery of the ship's bell marked 1681, transformed this tragedy from legend to fact. Today, artifacts from Gloucester are conserved and displayed, offering new insights into Restoration-era society and seafaring. The ship's story, once silenced beneath the waves, now shapes maritime research and public history, demonstrating the lasting impact of evidence recovered from the past.